Wendy, we are back here on the Heart and Hustle podcast, and we're going to start off with a little different. When I first seen you, you had all these plants. I want to start there. Why the plants? Why so many plants? Do you look at an analogy of life form? Because that's how I look at plants. Or you just love how they look? What is the plants for?
I love to be outdoors. And so I feel like when I'm surrounded by green, and this is here in my office, it gives me that little bit sense of calm. People will come into my office, visitors, and say, "Oh, your office is so peaceful." I feel like that maybe is a bit of it. But if you notice the plants that I have, well, I can't really see them. They're those plants that you can just cut them off and stick them in water, and then they root and regrow. I have those plants all over because they're really hard to kill, and they just keep giving life. So I've got a lot of plants in my office, but they're all from the same mother plant, if you will. So yeah,
I see you got some potas back there. You got some snake plants back there. Those snake plants, I would tell you, you are right. You clip them, and I've done that. I clip like two, three little babies, and I put them in a pot, and now it's just huge. And I'm like, man, I could really make some money off of this. It's just time, to be quite frank. We talked
I-
about it, right? Where do I have the time to do that? Um,
exactly,
but no,
exactly.
how many plants do you say you have?
Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah. About a dozen right now, just
In
in
just your office? You
yeah.
have some at home?
Oh yeah, I've got some at home. My husband's more the gardener though, so he takes care of the outdoor plants and
That is so funny
so
you say that. I've been always an inside plant person, and I've been telling myself I want to do things on the outside.
yeah.
My wife, we talked about two young ones right before we hit record. She's been a stay at home mom for the last almost 6 years now, so she's trying to find that peace, right? Where do I go and just kind of let it all go? And for her, what's the garden? So now, if you see my garden, it's just like in a couple of weeks. Now she got pumpkins out there. She's
Oh,
growing vegetables. There's flowers, sunflowers.
I
She just
know.
literally yesterday in the back literally made her own little pit to do more vegetables, and she's like, "I want to go to the farmers market and sell these."
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I
And that's
said,
what you can do with
"Okay,
all your baby spider plants. Go to
yeah,
a charity shop, Goodwill, buy a bunch of like little pots and make
yeah."
them cute, sell them. That's a way
Funny
for
you
you
say
to
that.
make
That's
money on
a whole fundraising idea. You just said that, right? We're gonna have all these plants and do a plant sale, huh?
yeah.
Fundraising. Okay,
Yeah,
I like where you're
all
going
your
there.
baby spider plants. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. So it's just funny because I am now I'm the indoor plant guy and she's the outdoor plant woman. So
Right.
looks like we kind of had that same mix in our households, but it is something beautiful about it. And I always love to, I had this experience and this really brought me to what life gives us. So I had this plant that completely died on me, but I never got rid of it. I kind of kept it there and I said, you know what? Let me see if I can replant it. What happens? So I gave it a new pot, new dirt, and it started to grow. I still actually have that plant today, and it started to grow, and it just reminded me of us as humans. As sometimes we're just in the bad environments, and we need new people around us, and we need someone to really care and pour into us. That's why I love plants.
Yeah.
I actually created a mindset journal, and every single page of this journal had a plant because I just see the evolution of something from a seed ripping through that dirt, right, coming out in light, and just really becoming this beautiful thing, like a
Yeah.
sunflower.
Yeah. I
So
love that. I
I
love
uh
that.
I had to
Yeah.
start off a little different with you. Wendy, let people know
Yeah.
where you're representing, where you're located in the US, so that people have just more understanding of Wendy.
Yeah, so I work here at Augustana College. That's in Rock Island, Illinois. Rock Island's part of the Quad Cities, right on the Illinois-Iowa border, western Illinois, eastern Iowa. Quad Cities is a community of about 470,000 people. So yes, I do have a membership to our local botanical center as well. It's great. It's a beautiful location right in the middle of the Midwest. And one thing that's kind of cool, about half an hour north of the Quad Cities, little towns, Port Byron, Illinois, and LeClaire, Iowa. Every year they have a tug of war across the river. They shut the river traffic down for 4 hours on the Mississippi River, and they do a tug of war. It's a big festival for both communities, but kind of a cool thing to talk about with all the other cool things that are in this area.
Yeah. Have you been on either side of this tug of war, or you're just watching from the outside?
I've just watched it. I'm an observer, and I'll go and I'll do the run that they have in the morning or volunteer for something. But I've never been picked. I guess I don't have the broth to be able to be on the women's team.
Oh, they needed the muscles, Wendy. They said you got need more muscle. That's what it
Yes,
is.
that's
No,
right.
but you have a lot of different things. You have great leadership skills, and you're really putting it to use. What brings you to an organization like this, where you are about passion and purpose, and just giving all this beautiful energy that you have? From the first time
Yeah.
I met you, you're just all smiles. You can tell high energy. That's
Yeah.
leadership. That's you showing up because realizing that smile is contagious. The energy is contagious. Where's that come from?
Yeah, so I will tell you that I have been working here at Augustana in the admissions office for many years. I When I started here in the admissions offices right after I graduated from college, I'd worked as a student ambassador in the office. This was actually not my first career choice. When I graduated from college, my intention was to do something in the outdoors, to be a park ranger. I had done that for 2 summers, and that was really what I wanted to do. Had been applying for jobs. I actually came back to the campus around September, October. This was early 90s, so I couldn't just go on the internet and order my transcript. And I thought, I'm in town. I'm going to go in and pick up my transcript in person. I'm going to apply for uh, a substitute teaching job so I can make some money while I'm doing this. The director of admissions at the time came out, saw me coming into the courtyard, and said, what are you doing?" I shared what I was doing, and he said, "We've got an opening in admissions. I'd love to have you apply for it." And I was straight with him. I said, this isn't the job that I want to have. But again, this is early 90s. After you graduated college, you're off your parents' health insurance after 6 months, if you're not a
Hmm.
full-time student. And I thought, well, I need to do this. I need to just get a job, and I'll keep looking. And I was straight with them. I said, I'm going to keep looking. Um, 2 years down the road, I had applied for a job after college, didn't get it. But the head park ranger at that field station said, I was on vacation and they offered that job that you didn't get to someone else because whatever reason, but you're the one I wanted. If you apply for this job, this opening, I'm gonna make sure that you get in. My dream job, right? Things changed. I discovered that my passion for higher education, with working with students and families at a really critical time in their life, was everything to me. I just felt so alive with having that kind of experience. So I turned this down, decided to get my master's degree in higher education and stay in this field of work. And so many years later, I'm
Wow.
still here doing this passion work that I love. I'm really, really lucky because I had that chance to
Yeah.
to do something and get offered what I thought was my dream job. It's so funny how life changes and how
Yeah.
paths lead down different roads when you open your heart to those different opportunities.
I say this very often, and is that one person, that one moment, that one story changes your life. And it was that one person, right? In your case, it was that admin guy that came out and seen something in you clearly
Mhm.
that you probably didn't even see in yourself at that moment, because we're so focused on our plan. But what is really the plan set out for us in this life? And looks like in reality, you could still be a park ranger, right? I can imagine there's not an age limit to it. Is it?
I suppose I could retire and be a volunteer. I don't think they probably want me right at my age, but it's all good because I still get to be outside and enjoy things.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
okay. So what does a park ranger do? Maybe I don't know the details. A park ranger. What does that look like?
All right, so I will tell you this because I know this very personally, not just from my 2 summer jobs, but when I married my husband, he was a park ranger. He eventually transitioned into a different career. And my son, who's a year out of college, he just got his dream job as a park ranger, and he's moving
Oh
down
my god!
to the Nashville area from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, here in just a few weeks. And he had that experience of doing something else and getting offered his dream job, and he gets to do it. So it's not just, hey, I get to lead nature hikes and do, check campers in, but there's that maintenance component of it. There is the law enforcement component of it. Depending on where you're at, you might be doing. Different permits for, docks. If you're on a waterway, you're having to, keep track of those administrative details of
Yeah, yeah.
who are our contractors who are going to be mowing, who's our cleaner. So it's a lot of those types of things as well. But it's also fun. Get to ride around in a truck and talk to people all day, which is one of the things that I thought that I was going to love about it. Now I talk to people all day, but in a really different capacity.
So instead of being around trees all day, now you're around people.
People in my plant, in my office, right?
And plant. I love it. No, and now, what is your role? Like, what are you doing now as in the role that you're doing today for the school?
Yeah, so my role has evolved a bit. Admissions counselors come in, at least at my school, and they have a territory that they are working with families, students from a specific territory. We read applications. We follow up when a student's gotten their financial aid award letter. We're really making sure that we're walking students and their families through the process. And every family is an individual, every student is an individual, so it's not really a one size fits all with what we do.
Hmm.
My current role, however, is I am really more of that supervisory person in the office. So I work with our admissions counselors. I work with our team of folks that do the communications and marketing. I work with the folks that do a lot of the information and data that we work with. So I work with a lot of the other departments, kind of adjacently with financial aid in the registrar's office, et cetera. So a little bit more of a higher level of what I used to do with working really one on one with families, but more working with all those people that work with the families now.
So you're helping even at a bigger level because now it's just you doing the work yourself, but now you're leading others to do the work that you were doing, but even times 10. So that's always a beautiful place, and I can imagine you still go out there and still help out wherever it can, boots on the ground when you can. Um,
Absolutely.
you mentioned kids, students, but you also mentioned parents. And I think more than ever, we are at a time where parents are a part of the decision. Parents are really a part of the campus tours, wanting to be involved as much as they can through the journey of admissions, but also the journey of the school life. Are you finding that a little more difficult, a little more challenging these days? What does that make you feel like seeing that families and parents actually more part of this journey?
Yeah. I love it. I will be honest. I think that parents have always been a part of it. I think that as things evolved, students used to want to do this more on their own, or they didn't include their parents. I think that the way that things have shifted is that students are more open to their parents being involved in the process. They're leaning on their parents for advice as much as they are leaning on social media or their peers for that advice. And in a lot of ways, I think is a really good thing. Parents come with that lived experience of even if they've not been to college, they understand a little bit more about what outcomes mean, what financing and education means. And I think that it's never a bad thing for a parent to be a part of the process. I also think the best parents are the ones who understand that this is a decision that the student will be making. This is going to be the choice that the student has, and parents can influence that, but they also need to listen to their student as well. But no, I think it's a great thing that parents are involved in the process.
So are we communicating now to the parents and the children, or what does that communication piece look like now?
Yeah, we are, and with emails, we will copy parents on many of the pieces of information that we send to students. Sometimes we have standalone communication to parents because it's a message that will resonate more with the parent who is thinking about outcomes and finances, and the students are also thinking about that, but they're also thinking about how do I find a place where I belong? How do I find a place that is going to help and support me. Parents want to hear that too. That's a message that I think students need to hear, and parents want to hear how we're going to support that student and those outcomes. So there's same messaging and there's a little bit different messaging that we make sure that the parents are feeling a part of this process because they are.
Yeah, yeah. Now communication becomes even more challenging now because you want to make sure that you're capturing different audiences at this time, capturing, as you mentioned, the student life, the parent life, and what's happening in between. You mentioned emails. I mean, in a space now where innovation, AI, are you guys in that field of trying to figure out how do we curate? We have our own Spotify list, our own Netflix list. Are you also curating that experience for these students?
Not necessarily with AI. We still have some very bright human beings that are behind those emails that are helping to craft those emails. We think about segmenting those communications, and we have so much evidence at Augustana of how we can be the type of school that prepares students for that next step once they graduate, whether that's graduate school, a job, law school, medical school, whatever that is. And so taking that evidence and telling the stories is something that is very important to us, and something that we really don't need AI to help us to do. And it's not to say that like AI doesn't ever play a role in anything, but it is. Even if you were to go onto our website, we don't have a chat bot, we don't have an AI assistant. We want you to connect with a real person, with a real student here at Augustana, and you'll find those ways that students and families can make those connections with the real people here.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, AI is, as you mentioned, it is here. Is definitely a game changer, and it just takes time. I think really to really adopt what that. Oh my God, do you see that? Did you see that, Wendy? Look, you see it?
I saw that reaction after the fact.
Wendy, I'm here talking to you, and I'm just, and then there's like a wasp that just shows up right here, and I'm like,
Oh my
holy
gosh.
crap!
Well, I
So I
saw
think
the
I don't know if I
reaction.
told you that. I don't know if I told you this, but I do a lot of the work in my garage. This why it looks like a really beautiful studio. I'm in a corner of my garage. And,
Beautiful. Yeah.
there's this wasp that I haven't really done anything because he doesn't bother me. He just, like, comes in my space sometimes, but I don't wanna go after him, right? Like, I'm that type of person. I don't really wanna kill a bug, but if he continues to interrupt this, Imma have to do something about it, Wendy.
You're gonna have to send him a calendar invite and say, "Hey, I'm doing my podcast at this time. You stay in your
I
nest."
do just exactly, I need to stay away, but no, I love that you guys are really still that people. I mean, you can't get rid of humanity. You can't get rid of that relationship, between 2 humans, so that you guys are still kinda putting that perspective of it and saying, "Hey, while we see it's there, we still wanna make sure that we're catering to our audience, right? Those parents individually, our students individually, and I can imagine it's because also the experience that you've had when you went to school. I'm actually in shock. Like, how did that relationship happen between that admissions counselor that you mentioned that said, "Hey, the opportunity"? Because I think about school, and I don't know they ever knew who I was. So,
Yeah.
how did you know, and how did they know you? Was it just you were in the office a lot? Is it because what they brought to the table of relationship building?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and I'll even back it up 4 years before that offer of the job. When I was looking at colleges, and I went to a college fair and met with a really nice admissions counselor who asked some really good questions that made me think, encouraged me to come and visit. I visited with my mom. He took the time to answer her questions. Neither of my parents went to college, but they both were dead set on me going to college. And my mom had talked to people who had kids that had gone to college, who'd gone to college themselves, and she came just with an embarrassing amount of questions because I was of the generation of, oh, I'm going to do it myself. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
why I'm like, 30 years later, it's okay that parents are part of the process, and I'm glad that students are willing to include include their parents. But, the counselor took a lot of time talking to me, and my mom, and explaining to us how everything worked, how the financial aid worked. It was great. And so as a student, he had recommended that I work in the admissions office. So worked in the admissions office for 3 years, had some additional responsibilities as a student during my time there. So that's how the director of admissions, at the time knew who I was. And so just
Got
a
it.
lot of things just kind of, stars line up and things happen.
He
So
probably remember all your mom's questions. He's like, this is the girl that had her mom involved and asked all the questions."
probably, probably, yes. Bill, he was a great guy. He still is a great guy. I'm still in touch with him, which is
Really?
such a blessing. Yes, yes. So,
Wow.
yes.
Wow, how cool. It's always cool, those people in your lives that you can still be a part of, their lives as well. I actually recently just called my old supervisor when I was 19 years old. He was the one that gave me a chance. I'm 36 years old now, but I think about the leader I am today, the opportunities I received, and I wanted to call him because sometimes we plant seeds and we don't realize what they grow into. Sometimes we water seeds and we don't know what they come out to be. And I had to call him and say, "Man, I thank you for that chance. I thank you for the opportunity because I know that I was stubborn, I was hard headed, I gave you, run for your money, but you've never give up on me, And from that, I was able to lead multiple subways and have a life that I never really imagined because of those opportunities. So I'm glad that you still have that relationship, and I can imagine every time you tell that story, it's like, man, without that moment, am I here? And probably so. There was other paths, or not. You would have been a park ranger, which ideally still would have been a good life, right?
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about retention right now? We're in a very tough time when it comes to higher ed because of all the opportunities of social media, becoming a content creator, of just going and becoming an entrepreneur, right? We talked about plants, right? There's so many ways that someone can go and make money now
Mhm.
because people look at also at a college and feel like, why would I go in debt when I can go and do this? What is your thoughts on it, and what are you guys doing to kind of avoid that?
Yeah. And there's a couple of tensions happening right now in higher education. One of that is the students who are becoming non-consumptive, students who are choosing not to go to college who, 10, 15, 20 years ago, those would have been the students that we would have seen coming through our doors. The other part is essentially the demographics. There are less 18-year-olds today than there were. I mean, there's a shift in birth rate, and so higher education professionals are thinking about that on both ends. I know people who have not gone to college and have been successful. So I acknowledge that is an okay path for people
Mhm.
to take. I also know that the statistics, the research backs it up that if you have a college degree and the higher your education level is, the more opportunity that you have to earn in your lifetime. The healthier you are throughout your lifetime. The opportunities that you have if you decide to change careers are going to be there. It's going to open more doors if you have that degree. So higher education, yes, it is an investment, and that's how families should think about it. Is that if you've got the opportunity, you've got the grades, or you've got the means to improve your grades through, an open enrollment school like a 2-year school. Get ready for that 4-year degree and move. You're going to find that you've opened doors that probably wouldn't have been opened without a degree, a higher education degree. And again, I know people who are successful without that degree. They're they're probably a bit more limited though with the career paths that they can take, and not kind of I know that they are. So I feel fortunate for the type of work that I do.
And you said it didn't just change the individuals' lives because it changes the lives of the people that come after them and sometimes even before them. You mentioned your mom and dad were not college graduates. You a first gen? Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And
Yes.
now your kids are also, because of what you've been able to do, have also gone to school, right? So how many kids now are in college because of
Yeah.
you?
So I have 4 kids. My oldest graduated from Augustana. She has her master's degree now in geology, and she's working in her career field. My second kiddo went to another college very similar to Augustana, another a private Lutheran liberal arts college, and he's the one who's going to be living his dream as a park ranger here in the next month. I've
I
got a
love it.
daughter who is going to be a junior here at Augustana, super involved, and really loving her experience. She keeps telling me every day, I can't wait for school to start back again. And then I have a son who just graduated high school, and his path is Augustana as well. So, and this is something I will say, as a parent who works at a college, and especially a parent who works in admissions, I have never pushed my kids to go to Augustana, because I don't want there ever to be, well, I'm doing this because I didn't want to disappoint my mom, or I'm doing
Mhm.
this because I felt like this, I had to. We looked at a lot of different colleges, and it just always came back to Augustana check the box for three of my four kids. So that's pretty good odds. Um,
I love that. I
yeah.
love that you said you're not biased. This is not the place that you have to go visit colleges. So on these college tours, what are you taking from other colleges that you thought did well? And some of the things that you said, oh, that did not go well. Make sure we're not doing that at our college. What are some of those things?
That's so
Without putting
funny.
people on blast here.
Names. I do take those opportunities. Maybe I should have had four more kids because this is professional development for me anytime I go to other colleges. And I will take examples of colleges that I think, man, they are doing that right. Their emails, they are on point. Their way that they greeted us when we visited, the way that they led their tour, there have been some amazing colleges that those have been the colleges that have been maybe number two on my students list, or number one for my second kiddo. But there's other colleges that I will come back and I'm sending an email to my staff. Hey, I just had this experience and I want to make sure that we never do this. This is a never day for our office. And those are I've been asked, well, did you tell the college that they did this? I'm like, no, let them keep doing it. It's terrible to say.
True. Not my business.
But I feel like, that's their style. This is our style. And the way that we welcome people, the way that we want people to feel special really throughout the entire process. And again, everyone who comes through the admissions office, we want them to feel special and as an individual. And when they apply and when they go through a scholarship process or the financial aid process, we're trying to connect with them one on one to help them with that whole journey. It's not that we expect that every student who comes through our doors are going to enroll at Augustana. We know that's not the case, but we want to make sure that even the student who chooses another school, we are telling them, I wish you the best. I'm so glad you considered Augustana. If plans ever change, let us know. So that's the philosophy I have, is that students are looking for the school that's the best fit for them. And that is we are what we do is we want to show them what we have to offer, and it may not be what the student is ultimately chooses, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
I love it. No, I always say you learn from those moments of you going out there and boots on the ground, right? Like you've
Yeah.
got yourself to a kind of space of now I'm leading a team, but it's every time you get back to where it all started, you start to realize new things. So for you to kind of go out there and take off that hat of being leader, but just more receiving a lot of these things, you're like, wait a minute. I didn't even notice this. Like this is a thing now, like and it's a good, a bad thing, and it's how we as humans have to always remember to get uncomfortable, always remember to see things from the outside because we're so much inside a lot of the times. Get
Yeah.
uncomfortable,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, totally agree. Yes.
So you're definitely getting uncomfortable in these places. The park range, I want to go to it. Are you like now living vicariously through your son? Like, are you going to go on these trips with him and say, "Hey, can I just get on the passenger side with you and kind of see what it looks like?"
Gosh, well, I mean, we're a family that camps and enjoys the outdoors. A lot of just, and anytime I can be outside, I'm outside walking, running, biking. It's cross country skiing. We get snow here, not as much as we used to. I'm just kind of wishing that the Midwest would get a little bit more snow, at least in our area. But yes, I will be out visiting him and his park. So all good.
Love it. I'll tell you something that happened, and this is kind of very left field, but it just happened, so I thought I should share it with you. There was a group of people. I'm in Orlando, and if anybody knows, we have gators. So recently, I guess it happened literally down the street, maybe 15, 20 minutes, that these three individuals, they were actually going hiking and decided that they want to cool off in fresh water. And a gator took the friend and
Oh,
ripped the arms off.
God.
So these two kids got, I know how the hell we got here. I have no idea, Wendy, but um, that's why I don't go in water. When we talk about nature, Wendy, I am very like, wait a minute, what is in there? Because same thing with like beaches. I live in Orlando where we have plenty of beaches, but I do not go to the beach. Why? Because there's sharks. Why would I go to the beach? So
My
I'm a little,
gosh.
keep me at a pool. All right. But I do love hiking. But now knowing, do not get in the water when you're going hiking. Is kind
Come
of what I
come
learned
up
from
to
that
the
story.
Midwest. There's no sharks in the Mississippi River. There's no alligators. The Great Lakes, they're awesome. No salt. Come visit.
Lord.
Come visit.
What do
I
you guys
can
have? Like, what kind of animals? Coyote or something? Mountain
we
lions?
yeah, they're but they stay away from humans for the most part. I mean,
Okay, okay.
you're gonna see if you come here, you'll see deer, you'll see great heron, you'll see or great blue heron, you'll see turtles. Yeah,
Wow.
it's much more peaceful when you have a winter that's going to freeze a lot of those really cold things out of here.
Mm. I tell you what, I do love hiking. That is very peaceful for me. Every time that I go up to Boston, my brother would then drive me up to New Hampshire,
Okay.
and
Oh my.
we'll spend a good day just hiking and just sit there. Sometimes just listening to the water, and it is my peaceful spot. This year's birthday, my wife wanted to get everybody together, all the friends and all that. I'm like, can I just lay by somebody's body of water on the grass in peace? Because we talked about sometimes my brain is going, going, going. You got to find those moments that kind of just shut you off. Is
Yeah.
this what shuts you off, you say? Just going
Yeah.
out and doing it?
Yeah, I try I sometimes I just can't get away, but if I can get away for an hour every day over my lunch hour and just walk, I just come back so much more refreshed and my brain's had a chance to it's like sleeping. I'm not sleeping, but it just has a chance to reset and it's
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Almost goes into hibernation mode probably while you're taking that hour walk.
Just getting some of those things out or thinking things through without having the constant interruptions. Yeah.
Love it. As we wrap this up, there's first gen students out there that probably believe that they can't do this.
Yeah.
You are one that did it. Your kids are now doing it because of it. What do you say to those individuals that say this is hard or I don't have the money or whatever their excuse may be in their head? Someone that's lived it. What do you say to them?
Yeah, I absolutely think that there are a lot of students that have those concerns or simply don't believe in themselves. You might be a student who gets good grades, but maybe you don't have that confidence to think, "Oh, I can do it in college. College is going to be so much harder." Or they worry that like my family's low income, or even if they're middle income, how are we going to be able to afford college education? And if when I get a chance to talk with students, I try to really convey the message that you can do this. This is not a place. Higher education is not a place that is this gigantic step up from high school. And I tell students, if you're a freshman in high school, think of when I'm talking to a senior, think back on when you were a freshman in high school. Could you be doing the work as a freshman that you're doing now as a senior? No, because you've taken those steps to get where you are. That's what freshman year in college is. It's not a huge step up. It's just that next step. And when I mean, the human mind is just it has so much capacity to learn. And there's not a limit when you get into that freshman year and you have that support around you and feel that encouragement to keep going. You're going to. I mean, students discover things about themselves that I just really think that they would never have believed about themselves. We have this series here at Augustana called More Than I Imagined. We invite seniors here to reflect on their time at Augustana. And it truly is such a great piece. It's a piece that I use. I send out to prospective students. It's not just like it's something that lives on our website because it really does show that story of students who came in thinking that they were going to do one thing or thinking that they were going to really stay small and all of these opportunities that they have when they come to college. So I would say knowing that where you go, look for support. Knowing that support is there is going to be key for a student that maybe is a little unsure about taking that next step. When it comes to things like cost and being able to afford college, I always tell students don't look at what that sticker price is for the college. That sticker price is not the final price. Once you fill out the FAFSA, once you seek out the scholarships that are there for students, you may find that that college is more affordable than you could have ever imagined. We have a program here at Augustana. We are about to start our fourth year called it's called Augustana Possible, and based on FAFSA information, and FAFSA is free application for federal student aid. Based on FAFSA information for our highest achieving students, they are going to find that we are meeting 100% of their financial needs. So we have students that are
Wow.
coming to Augustana that are literally paying $42 for the year. They're taking out their that federal student loan, that 5,500 as a first year student, for example. But other than that, they are not having to worry about the cost of an education. And I can see also that how life changing that has been for the students that we have in our school. And when students get here, the support doesn't end. We have a TRIO program. It's a federally funded program to help first generation students, to help students that have that I was going to say high need, but low need,
Yeah.
low income. Just trying to
Mhm.
get my terms so I don't sound like I'm
No worries.
so, the lower income students, first generation students, students that have disabilities, this is an office that is there to serve those students. We don't want to just bring students into Augustana. We want to see success of all of our students throughout the 4 years. Every student comes into Augustana and has a success team right away, no matter where you are coming from in the socioeconomic range. So, or first gen range. Every student here has that support. So even students who are not first gen, but might be worried about, am I going to make it? Do I have the smarts? Oh my goodness, we're going to make sure you're supported.
I love it. Wendy, thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the insight. Thanks for those that are still watching here, whether you're listening to it or you're watching the video. I suggest watch the video so you can see all the plants that Wendy has in her office. And maybe even see the wasp that tried to attack me while we were watching as well. But Wendy, thank you for what you do. Thank you for continuing to pour into others. Like someone poured into you. I think it's fascinating that we could do that in life. Sometimes people may forget to go back and pour into others. You haven't forgot. You haven't stopped actually since college. It looks like you made it take a little break, but you never really left college.
Yeah.
So we thank you for the conversation that we're having today. Guys, if you're watching and you're asking yourself, how do I get involved? How do I make this education happen? How do I go get that degree that you've always been sitting on? I am one individual, Wendy, that got 2 classes left to go get an associate's degree. But like you said, I've really made a life out of entrepreneurship and
Yeah.
I worked my butt off,
Yeah.
as well, to get those opportunities. But as you mentioned, yeah, school definitely could have propelled me even faster. The opportunities, the people that you get to meet in life, the connections that happen in school. I always say like a big networking event every single day when you go to school because you don't know who's there and who's going to go where. So just thank you for what you do, guys. If you guys are still watching, make sure you do like, subscribe, and comment. And remember, higher ed is not going anywhere. But how do we continue to enhance that experience, and how do we make sure that more people get that opportunity? I'm referring with Know Your Wrestling. With sorry, I always say Know Your Wrestling, but it's actually Heart and Hustle. This is Wendy. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.
Thanks.